What's up, Pete? Be Smooth back in the building. This video will not be too long. I really hope that I get hammered this video to people who are lazy minded and maybe physically lazy. So listen, I really do feel like people, all right, I'm going to get a little more specific. About 25%, maybe 35% of people in this entire world tend to depend on people to give them things. Like people tend to depend on other people to give happiness. So like in a relationship, the one person depends on the other person for their happiness. Or let's just say if this person is not successful, they depend on somebody else to give them opportunities to be successful. Or how about this? Let's say if something smooth and stupid, somebody was just chilling, watching TV, super lazy, and then they depended on somebody to bring them food while them watching TV. Something that's so stupid like that. And here is what I got to say about that. And like I said, I hope to my soul that I can hammer this home. If some of y'all have this tendency, I'm going to tell you something right now. Depending on people, you should almost never do. Ever. That says a lot about you. Unless you absolutely cannot do it. So I'm going to give you two scenarios. If you absolutely cannot do it, so let's say if for some reason your car broke down, right? Wrong? No, that's right. Your car broke down. And then you couldn't call the tow truck because, shoot, they might work 24 hours, 7 days a week. But for some reason, it's a holiday, hypothetically speaking. And you couldn't call them. So you had to call one of your family members to come pick you up. And you had to call a specific secret company to haul away your vehicle. That right there, that should be one of the only reasons why you should depend on somebody, because you absolutely are incapable of getting home or getting to your destination and hauling away your broken down vehicle. But listen, on the other side, if you depend on somebody for happiness, so let's just say if you in a relationship and the relationship is not going so well on your part, the opposite side, they doing cool, they chilling, but you not chilling. Nah, you struggling. You struggling, bitch. You struggling, bitch. So, and let's also say that you're not really trying to analyze. You're not trying to think about what is making you not feel good. What is making you not feel secure. Maybe it's because you're not on your purpose. You're not on your purpose. Maybe that's the reason why. But let's get back on track. So you depend on the opposite sex to make you feel good. Physically, sexually, emotionally. That's when you should not do that. I'm a firm believer, and I'm going to hold firm to this. I'm going to hold firm to this forever. If you are not secure, if you are not content with being who you are, if you are not content with being happy, you cannot gain happiness from outside sources. I'm going to tell you that shit right now. It absolutely cannot be done. It can't be done. Listen, you're not happy and you're seeking happiness from the opposite sex while the opposite sex is happy. You see where the middle ground has been lost? You can't just skip steps to find happiness. It's just like saying that you can't just cheat on a test at school and expect to know all the answers. You didn't put the damn work in. This shit don't make sense. So listen, you depending on somebody else for your own happiness, you're doing more harm than good. Because it's like you're almost detrimenting your self-happiness more and more. The more that you seek happiness from somebody else, the more your happiness is going to decrease because you are putting in all your energy towards somebody else. I'm going to give y'all a case in point. All right? Let's say if me not playing video games all day and me not gaining the ability to be happy never existed, I would try to gain my happiness from somebody else. And guess what? I'm not going to be happy because I'm not actually thinking to myself, you know what? I should put some work in internally, which means I should know how to be by myself by going places by myself, by working out, eating correctly, so I can feel better, for me to learn how to be by myself, for me to be self-secure. That's how you do it. That's how you be self-secure. You on your purpose, you doing what you love doing without needing people to occupy your time. You know how to live alone. Well, I mean, some people don't know how to live alone, but let's just say this. You know how to temporarily be by yourself. You know how to operate on your own. Therefore, you don't need people to occupy your time because you are comfortable with your time being by yourself. But if you weren't doing that, well, that's my scenario right there. I will not be happy because I will not know how to be alone, and I will not know what it takes for me to be happy. All right? And let's just say this. If you were in that same situation that I just described, you are going to always depend on somebody else. And let's just say this. If you are not ambitious right now, I'm going to tell you something. You got to have a plan. You got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired for you to gain motivation, to get out of your filth. If you are feeling depressed, do something about it. Don't be relying on people to give you some support, to give you some key. This shit ain't going to work. You got to put the work in. All right? You got to put the work in. If I was in your situation, so let's just say if I was emotionally struggling, I'm not going to depend on nobody to help me out. I'm going to do that myself. That's only extra credit. People helping me out. No, I'm going to get it my damn self. I'm not going to ask anybody to give me shit. Nobody. All right? I hold myself accountable for my own things, for my own situations. Nobody else. All right? I'm not gonna do, oh, woe is me. Like, I'm not to blame for me not being happy. What kind of shit is that? Are you kidding me? I'm not doing that. I'm accountable for my own actions. I make sure that everything is secure, set, and smooth internally in me before I try to depend on somebody else. At the same time, I am not going to depend on anybody unless I absolutely cannot do something. All right? So what am I saying? You should not depend on people for your own benefit. Depend on yourself. Rely on yourself. Your life will be better off that way. You want to know why? Because if you have that tendency to depend on people, you're going to have some tough outcomes happen. I'm going to let you know. You're going to be frustrated because you're going to continue to ask yourself, why am I still in this same fucking filth? Why am I still here? Why isn't my life better? I'm going to tell you why your life is not better. Because you're relying on other people. You're depending on other people. You're not depending, you're not believing, and you're not doing things on your own. You're not depending on yourself. Depend on yourself. Alright, y'all? Alright. I had to hammer that home, y'all. Because some people, I know for a fact, are just mentally lazy. They depend on other people to help them out. Depend on yourself, y'all. The part of loving yourself, besides you being successful, is you knowing how to do things on your own without depending on other people. Other people are just outside sources. I'ma holla at y'all in the next video. Be smooth. Peace out. Let me know which video that y'all want me to make next.